Let me show you something that TikTok really, that nobody really wants to discuss. This is my account, okay? You see the numbers there, and then the one on the far, okay? Look at the one in the middle. I even tried duetting that video, and it still throttles it. You know what that video is about? It's about how CEOs are the most responsible for the healthcare crisis because of the stress that they put on employees. I mean, this has been known for years. That's why it's so funny that they're throttling that. But that's how because what happens? I mean, people have heard that you know, it's workplace stress, and then they come up with all these ideas, or they want to say that there's something wrong with you, when really no, the management and the leadership at the top, you know, the CEO, they're responsible. They're responsible. They could give more staff. They could decide, okay, we're going to not put people in dangerous situations. We're not going to stress our staff out more. But it's now to a point where it's never been as bad. I mean, it's never been as unsafe. It's never, I mean, and yet, so what have all the regulations done? Having OSHA, what does it do? Nothing. Does nothing. So why, my opinion is, why have all those agencies? They don't do anything. Because I've contacted them. It's pointless. It's pointless. So when your very employers, the majority of them, especially, you know, your big ones, you're looking at your CEOs, your board members, okay? They know better. They know better than to do this to people, but they do it anyway because the excuse is, well, all they're interested in is the bottom line. Well, then they're the problem with society, aren't they? Yeah, because, I mean, but forever, for decades, we just make excuses. We make excuses while the workplace stress continues to get worse, not better. And really, a lot of it is because they're so focused on AI, because then they really don't have to pay anybody. But they're the most morally bankrupt people in America, is the majority of your CEOs. And the excuse they get off on all the time is that it's about... you know, they have to think of the bottom line, right, at the cost of people's health, though. So here's some statistics. Workplace stress has been reported to cause 120,000 deaths in the U.S. each year. 120,000 deaths. Approximately 65% of U.S. workers surveyed have characterized work as being a significant or somewhat significant source of stress in each year from 2019 to 2021. 83% of U.S. workers suffer from work-related stress, and 54% of workers report that work stress affects their home life. CEOs treat their workers like you're just slaves, especially with AI. Now, you're just, you know, you're useless. They're just waiting for that to come in and do everything. Maybe the truth is it doesn't matter whoever gets in, whoever is president. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, you know, how much will really change. You know, or the wealthy just protect all the wealthy. And it's the wealthy that seem to abuse the most people. I mean, obviously not every single one of them, but, you know, look at Diddy, look at Epstein. These were all wealthy people. And I don't just mean sexual abuse. You know, yeah, in those cases, they abused people sexually, children, even, you know, everyone. But then, you know, you have your CEOs in this country. I mean, in healthcare, I've seen it get worse. I mean, they're the most unempathetic, most morally bankrupt people in the hospital system at the top, and the chief nursing officers that go along with it. Yeah, you're a useful idiot. Yeah, that's great, but you're all adding to the you know, 120 deaths each year, and that's totally preventable. It is, but they want to control it because it's not like they want to do the things needed. Such as in healthcare, you need more staff. You need staff like we used to have some 60 years ago. You know, you need to get, you know, and part of it is micromanaging. That's one of the biggest things. And yet where I work, they go out of their way to micromanage you. That's why my attitude is just like, I don't do whatever I really don't care what you do. Because everything they do, it's a way to go out of their way to just cause stress to people. I've been saying for a while now that it seems that the people running healthcare at the very top, they are doing such crazy stuff that it seems like they're deliberately trying to cause harm, which is why I've been saying that there should be criminal charges should be looked at here. I mean, obviously you can't criminally charge somebody for causing you stress, but in a healthcare situation, when you continue to say, no, you have to admit patients, but you don't have enough staff, you don't consider how the milieu is, if it's safe for all of these dangerous people that you're admitting, some that shouldn't even be admitted at all, but you're just doing it because all you care about is the money, but you tell everyone, oh, it's because we're doing this to help. You know you're not trying to help anybody. You know you're trying to hurt people. So there should be some criminal, I mean, obviously that's never going to happen. We don't have a Department of Justice that operates on any kind of justice level. Lawyers, you know, they have so many lawyers on their side, they tie it up in court forever. But something needs to be done about this, because this has been an ever ongoing problem. And it's one that is never looked at, not on the level that where the CEOs need to do some changing, or there needs to be some, you know, we need to have some. So here's my answer to this. If you're the wealthy people, there should be more regulations on you and less on the poor. Yeah. That's the only way you can make it fair, really. It is. Because it's not fair when, you know, you're just an employee and yet OSHA's supposed to be your avenue, yet they're of no help, okay? Because every avenue you try to go, it just ends up serving the employer, okay? So then there has to be some balance here, because yes, your hospital CEOs or your CEOs of any major industry, they have a whole team of lawyers that will protect. They are not scared of any employee. They're not scared of in healthcare what any patient accuses. They do not care. So there has to be some leveling of the playing field here, because it is not a fair system. It is like this. So in order to bring it back to a fair level playing system, we need less regulatory agencies on the workers, less regulatory on the people that are the poor and middle class, and there needs to be a ton of regulatory on the wealthy. That's the only way. That's the only way that you can make it fair. And yes, they would complain about that, but I think they've their little game, you know, the gig is up, okay? People are tired of the bullshit. This is 2024, when we have more disease, more mental health crisis, just more disasters, constant, you know, just less quality of life in every area than when we did back before we had so much science and experts. Then really you have to ask yourself, where is really the problem? Well, the problem is it's the wealthy. I'm not saying all of the wealthy, but a majority of them. They're the ones that think it's okay to abuse people, whether it's abuse them sexually, abuse them as in treating them like slave labor, causing nothing but stress and making people afraid in some cases, afraid of your workplace. I mean, this should not be tolerated in this free country we supposedly live in, should it? No. They have all benefited on the backs of hardworking Americans. And it's time that the playing field at least become fair, because it's not. In my last video, I read about this. It was from an article. Robert Chapman, CEO of Barry Wehmiller, standing in front of 1,000 other CEOs saying, you are the cause of the health crisis. Something needs to be done.